I want to talk to you about business skills that make millions for lawyers, okay? As lawyers, we're not trained to actually be business people. We're trained in another category to actually pursue a certain skill set. But it's important to actually embrace some business skills also if you want to be a millionaire. And that's be a millionaire as a lawyer, right? So the first business skill that you want to go after is actually commercial awareness. See, the thing is that you got to be aware of the fact that you are running a business. Okay, simply because you are a lawyer doesn't mean that you should not be commercially oriented. And I don't care whether you have a solo practice or you are working in a small or mid-sized firm. You got to be commercially aware. And being commercially aware just means that you need to understand that you are working in a competitive space and you got to develop a certain skills, a certain level of skill set, or let's just say a accountability set to actually survive. Okay. So you can improve your commercial awareness by becoming a committee member of a university, club, or society, browsing specialist websites such as a Roll on Friday, lawcareers.net, The Lawyer, Legal Cheek, and Legal Futures, getting work experience at a commercial organization such as a bar, call center, shop, or if possible, a law firm. See, the whole idea here is to develop the skill set that will differentiate you in a very crowded marketplace. Okay, you can also go on a gap year because this will develop your budgeting, scheduling, and cost-cutting skills and give you an international perspective on business issues. And again, it doesn't matter if your law firm doesn't really focus on international clients. You'll still benefit from the skill set that you acquire while being abroad. Okay, you can also be commercially aware by attending career events that allow you to participate, let's say, in seminars, workshops, and other conferences, and that also allow you to network with business professionals such as salespeople, such as CEOs, such as COOs. Right? It's all about mingling with. It's all about rubbing elbows with other professionals, especially those professionals who are commercially aware, those professionals who are commercially minded. And you can also listen to business related podcasts or radio shows. Okay, or you can rate business publications such as the Wall Street Journal or Bloomberg, for instance. A second business skill that makes millions for lawyers is actually attention to detail. So, besides being commercially aware, if you're able to get as granular as possible on certain important things, you are going to be a very successful and millionaire lawyer because accuracy is a vital law skill and it's actually pivotal to the success of your legal career. And it doesn't matter the niche that you're in. It doesn't matter if you, for instance, if you are a family lawyer or a criminal defense lawyer or you are a patent lawyer, whatever. Okay. Attention to detail is going to carry you very far. So a word out of place can change the meaning of a clause or contract, while misspelled or ungrammatical emails, letters, or documents give clients a bad impression, costing your firm the business you should have gotten in the first place. I mean, if you are a lawyer, paying attention to detail, as especially the subtle things, can actually carry you a long way. So attention to detail becomes actually vital as a lawyer, and it's a skill that improves with experience. Okay, and it also improves with commitment. So if you're committed to a client, if you're committed to a process, if you're committed to a case, if you're committed to a legal matter, you're going to pay attention. Okay, so when applying for jobs or training contracts or reaching out to prospects or reaching out to leads, you want to always remember that those stakeholders look for spelling, punctuation, and grammatical errors. If your cover letter is vague, for instance, too long or littered with spelling mistakes, a recruiter may question what a potential client will make of your letter of advice. Okay, so this is an important element to really, and this is a great business skill that once you polish it, once you acquire it, will make you millions as a lawyer. So to improve your attention to detail, you want to volunteer your proofing services to student publications and get used to going through your own work thoroughly. You might want to frequently read articles such as those from the Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg News, for instance. Okay, among others, by the way, among the New York Times. Okay, this will help you actually polish your fluency on complex subjects and will therefore make it easier to spot errors. Even brain training games like Sudoku can help narrow your focus on identifying details. Another business skill that makes millions for lawyers actually has to do with communication. And communication is actually central to the work we do as attorney, okay, as attorneys, because strong oral and written communication skills are really pivotal, are really crucial to a legal career. And without them, you will struggle to carry out the duties of a lawyer effectively. And again, I don't care about the niche you're in. Communication is going to help you big time. Every legal niche requires a great communicator. If you notice, you'll realize that in every niche that you're in, every legal niche, the topmost lawyers in that niche are usually good communicators. Okay, so you need to be a confident speaker when arguing a case in court, negotiating settlements, and explaining complex information to clients. Okay, the whole idea here is to use storytelling to break down complex matters into accessible content, into accessible stories that clients can digest. Okay, you have to use persuasive, clear, and succinct language. And public speaking is also required in the role of an attorney. Okay, so to hone this skill while at university, you want to volunteer as the spokesperson in group activities or get involved in debate teams. Okay, it's all about practice. The more you practice, the better you become. And written ability is equally important. When drafting letters and legal documents, you will need to know technical and legal language and be able to convey it clearly and concisely. And to improve your written communication skills, get involved, for instance, with your university's law society or your ABA, American Bar Association's local chapter. Okay, you could also take meeting minutes, draft emails, write newsletters, or manage social media accounts. You could do the same thing in a nonprofit, let's say, like I said, in a local ABA chapter, or you can just do it for like pro bono for a nonprofit. And also, basically, you need to understand that being able to communicate well with your team will output more effective work more efficiently because you'll be working with a team. Unless you are a solo practitioner, even if you're a solo practitioner, you're gonna have to deal with other stakeholders, including the court, including defendants, and so on and so forth, and also clients. Another business skill that makes millions for lawyers this year is actually teamwork. And teamwork is an important business skill. Your ability to work in a team, your ability to collaborate with others productively. Okay. So winning cases is actually a team effort. And you have to understand again, it doesn't matter if you are a solo practitioner or you are working in a law firm. Okay, because lawyers need to collaborate with colleagues and partners as well as liaise with clients. Okay, and attorneys need to foster a close relationship, a close working relationship with their paralegals, with their back office team. Okay, and they will often work high profile cases alongside other lawyers. So the ability to work as part of a team is an essential legal business skill, and you will need to be able to deal with people from, let's say, from all levels of the legal hierarchy, from students all the way to trainees, all the way to members of the judiciary, like judges, clerks, other attorney colleagues, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is an important element to really remember. You have to remember that lawyers are constantly working in teams consisting of trainees, okay, associates, partners, and depending on the company, the firm rather, lawyers from other jurisdictions, okay, And so it's important to have the social skills to be able to work effectively, not just within your own demographic, but across different age ranges and cultures too. Even if you are working like if your office is only in the States, you still need to develop that cultural awareness. Okay. You also need to, you need to understand that clients trust their legal representative in terms of being personable, persuasive, and polite, right? So the easiest way to hone your people skills is to join a team. This could be a sports team, drama club, or a choir. Anything that enables you to work with others, okay? Alternatively, you can get involved with editing the student newspaper or joining a debating society, okay? Part-time work in a customer service role is another way to improve these skills, as is volunteering. Another business skill that makes millions for lawyers actually is information analysis and research. And you understand that the practicing law sometimes requires you to do some research, and depending on the case that you're working on, you might have to do a lot of research. Okay, so reading large amounts of information, absorbing facts and figures, analyzing material, and distilling it into something manageable is actually a feature of any law career. It doesn't matter the niche you're in, you're gonna really need that skills. That's that what I call the granularity skill, okay? Because you are going to take a large amount of data and actually dissect it into something that digestible. So being able to identify what's relevant out of a mass of information and explain it clearly and concisely to your client is actually key, especially for complex legal matters. So you want to hone this skill, the skill about information analysis and research, by taking large documents or long news articles and making 5 bullet points, okay, of the most important themes. The more you do this, the better, okay? And also, research will play a big role in your day-to-day job as a lawyer. You'll need to hone your research skills when doing the background work on a case, for instance. Okay, you can also you may need to draft legal documents and advise clients on complicated issues. So this is important. What you want to do is that you want to build up a network of contacts. You want to really understand. You also need to have access to the right sources, the right portals. Okay, that's going to be very quintessential to you, especially if you are working once again on a very complex matter. Another business skill that makes millions for lawyers in this economy has to be organization. Okay, so researching points of law, drafting legal documents and contracts, managing case files, meeting clients, all of that. If you're not organized, you can't really succeed. Attending court and networking with with other legal professionals, all that requires a certain level of organization. Now, the cool thing is that nowadays you can actually use technology to help you organize your matters, organize your affairs. Okay, so and this becomes a little more complicated if you are, I mean, more complicated or easier depending on how you look at it. But what I want to say is, if you are a solo practitioner, for instance, basically what happens here is that you got to really organize yourself because you are the one doing everything. You're the one actually reaching out to leads. You're the one actually hopping on calls. You're the one doing the everyday work that brings in the money. You're the one who manages the leads. You're the one who does everything. So if you don't have this software, this calendaring software helping you out, you could actually fall behind. Okay, so you want to understand that your job is actually one big juggling act. Okay, so you need to have some kind of help. You need to find a way to balance lots of moving parts, a lot of shifting parts. Okay, and so being able to prioritize and manage your time very well are crucial skills. Okay, because lawyers sometimes charge either by the hour or by the day. So being able to allocate your time to what is most important is extremely valuable. The last thing you want is to spend actually most of your time on non-billable hours. You want to really do the opposite. You want to spend less time on non-billable hours and more time on billable hours. And so you'll have plenty of opportunity to hone this organization skill, throughout your running your law firm. Okay, and you have to understand also is that your job is not just to be organized. Your job is to have your team also organized. So not only your legal team, but also your non-legal team, the back office people, the I would say the back office folks, the operations folks, for instance, the accounting folks, but also your legal team. Not your core legal team like attorneys, but also your paralegals. Okay, so your virtual your VAs, your virtual assistants, all that personnel needs to be taken care of in terms of organization. Next, you need to, if you're looking for a business skill that makes millions for lawyers, I want you to think about creative problem solving. And this is a business skill that's important, especially in this economy, because regardless of the legal niche you're in, you are going to find ways to proactively solve clients' problems. You are going to find ways to proactively solve clients' pain points. So if you have a creative problem solving as a solid skill set, you are going to succeed because working in law, you will often encounter, let's say, unpredictable issues. Not unpredictable. That's the wrong word. Unforeseen. Yeah, unforeseen issues that require creative problem solving, especially where a solution is not obvious from the outset, right? So, and while you may think that the legal profession provides little outlet for an individual's creative talent, this is not the case. So, no matter which legal career you choose, you will frequently have to think outside the box to get the job done. Especially the more complex the case is. Okay, so this is an important element. And one thing I want you to really understand here is that the whole idea is not going to happen overnight. Okay, those skills that I just told you about, you're not going to acquire them like in 1 month or 3 months. Okay, no, it takes time. It takes practice too. And so those are the top 7 business skills that make millions for lawyers. There are actually other useful skills that you might want to think about. You have resilience and self-confidence. You have intuition or initiative taking, and the ability to work under pressure. Because working in law is already pretty could be stressful. So if you have the ability to work well under pressure, that can really help you big time. It can really carry you very far. Okay, so that's an important element to really think about. So in conclusion, to this conversation, I'll share with you business skills that make millions for lawyers. So you have commercial awareness, attention to detail, communication, teamwork, information analysis and research, organization, creative problem solving. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will see you next time. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.